going to switch gears now. This second story by a very different author, a very different style. This one is entitled Trade Secret, written by Bill Pronzini. He's one of my favorite authors. I know a number of stories that he's written. This one was published in 2012. Trade Secret by Bill Pronzini. I was sitting on a canvas chair on my back deck, adjusting the drag on my fishing reel, when I heard the car grinding uphill through the woods. My cabin is on a backcountry lane, far off the beaten track, and the gate across the private road has a no trespassing sign. The only visitors I get are occasional tradespeople from the little town a dozen miles away, by invitation only. And I wasn't expecting anyone today. I got up slowly. Now that the cool fall weather had set in, my arthritis was acting up. I shuffled inside for my 30-06. Then I went out front to see who it was. The car that rolled out of the pines was a shiny new silver Lincoln I'd never seen before. Illinois plates. That told me something right there. The driver was a man and he was alone. The angle of the sun let me see that much. But I didn't get a good look at his face until the Lincoln swung to a stop alongside my Jeep and he opened the door. Surprise! Easy and Malachi. Hadn't changed much. A little less of the dyed black hair, a few extra wrinkles on his jolly face, and another 10 pounds or so around his waistline. Dressed same as in the old days, like an Armani ad in a magazine. Silk shirt, Pronzini tie, and a suit that must have set him back at least $3 grand. But the outfit was all wrong for a trip into this wilderness country. That told me something too. Malachi was smiling when he got out. One of those ear-to-ear smiles of his that always made me think of a shark. I laid the rifle next to the wood, the stacked firewood, and moved over to meet him as he came up onto the porch. "Hey, Griff," he said, and grabbed my hand and pumped it a couple of times. "Hope you don't mind me just showing up like this, but you're a hard man to get a hold of. Long time, huh? Must be, what, 6 years?" "More like 7.5, I said. "Some place you got here, middle of nowhere, not easy to find." "I like it that way." Sure, you always were your own man, Griff, but I never figured you'd turn into a hermit." "People change," Malachi replied. "They sure do. You're looking good, fit as ever." "You didn't come all the way up here to make small talk," I said. "What do you want, Ed?" "How about a drink for starters? I've been on the road 5 hours. I could use one. You still drinking Irish?" "Now and then. Spare a double shot for an old friend?" We had never been friends, but there was no point in making an issue of it. I let him inside, poured his drink, and a dollop for myself. He looked around at the knotty pine walls, the bookcases I built myself, and the big native stone fireplace. "Some place," he said again. "Suits me. Let's take our drinks out to the deck." We went outside. Malachi carried his glass over to the railing and stood looking down at the wooden dock with my skiff tied up at the end. He looked out over the glass-smooth lake and the surrounding pine woods and the forested mountains in the near distance. Some view. "Anyone else live on this lake?" "No. Nearest neighbors are 2 miles away, and they're only around during the summer." "You do a lot of fishing?" "Fair amount. Mostly catch and release." "No fun in that. What about deer? Catch and release them too?" I don't do as much hunting as I used to. How come? Still got your eye, right? My eye's fine. Arthritis is the problem. But you can still shoot. Your hand's still steady. Steady enough. Why don't you get to the point, Ed? Save us both some time. Malachi took a swig of his Irish. I got a problem. A big problem. You wouldn't be here if you didn't, I said, and you wouldn't have come alone. I don't even know who to trust anymore, that's the thing. I'm not even sure of my own bodyguards, for Christ's sake. Things have gotten dicey in the business, Griff. Real dicey. Is that so? I might as well tell you straight out. Me and Frank Carbone, we're on the outs. Big time. What happened? I asked. Power struggle, said Malachi. And it's my own doing. Frank's getting greedy in his old age, wants to expand operations, wants full control. Why come to me about it? Why do you think? Do I have to spell it out? Contract offer, after all these years. That's right, a contract. Best one you ever had. I'm an old man, Ed. Why not bring in some young shooter from out of town? Detroit, Miami, LA. I've got to have somebody I know, somebody I can trust. I can always trust you, Griff. You never took sides, never rocked the boat. You just took the contracts we gave you and carried them out. That was a long time ago, I said. I've been out of the business almost 8 years. Not such a long time, he replied. I'm betting you're as good as ever, the best. Not one screw up, not one miss. And you always had an angle nobody else thought of. Like the time the cops stashed that fake Jimmy Conlon in the safe house with half a dozen guards, and still, you found a way to make the hit. How'd you manage that anyway? I always wondered. Trade secret. Malachi's laugh sounded forced. He gulped the rest of his Irish and said, $50K is the most you ever got in the old days, right? For Jimmy Conlon? I'll pay you $75 to hit Frank Carbone. Not interested. What? Why the hell not? 75 is a lot of money. Sure it is, but I don't need it. Everybody needs money, sooner or later. He was right about that. I was down to only a few thousand stashed in the strongbox under the bedroom floor. And my cabin could use a new hot water heater, and I could use a bigger skiff too, with a more reliable outboard. But money and the things it could buy were no longer important to me. I could make do with what I had, make it last as many years as I had left. No deal, Ed. Come on, don't play hard to get. 75 is all I can afford. Think about what that much green will buy you. Trips to Europe, South America, anywhere you want to go. There's no place I want to go. Everything I want is right here. I don't plan to leave this place for any reason or any amount of money. Bullshit, Griff. Can't you see how desperate I am? I see it, but the answer is still no. Malachi's fat face was a splotchy red now. Anger, fear, the whiskey. God damn you, I done plenty for you in the old days, plenty. You owe me. No, I don't. I don't owe you or anyone else. I paid all my debts before I retired. You better take this contract, he said, and he pointed his index finger at me and cocked his thumb. You hear me? You know what's good for you. You take it, and you do it right. Are you threatening me, Ed? I don't like to be threatened. I don't care what you like. You got to do this for me. You got to hit Frank. That's all there is to it. If you don't, and I have to take a chance on somebody else, then that somebody hits me too. Is that what you're saying? Don't make me do this the hard way. That's what I'm saying. I like you, Griff. Always have. You know that. But you got to take this contract. I gave him a long look. His words had been hard, but his eyes were pleading, and he was sweating at the collar of his expensive silk shirt. At last I said, "Sounds like I don't have much choice." "Then you'll take it?" "Yeah, I'll take it." Good man. I knew you'd come around. Malachi's big smile was back, crooked with relief. He used a monogrammed handkerchief to wipe off his sweat. And then he clapped my arm and said, "How about another drink? Seal the bargain." I said that was all right with me, and I went inside to refill our glasses. Before I went back out to the deck, I made a quick detour into the bedroom. When I returned with the drinks, Malachi said, "What's that you got there?" He was looking at the wicker creel I'd slung over my shoulder. "Creel," I said. "I'm going fishing after you leave. Let's take our drinks down to the dock." "What for?" he asked. "Good place to talk. I'll need to know some things about Frank and his habits. Besides, there's something I want to show off, something I pulled out of the lake." He said, "Sure, what the hell." We went down the steps, across to the dock, and out to the end where my skiff was tied. "So, what's this thing you want to show me?" he asked. "Down there in the skiff," I said. When he turned and bent to take a look, I removed the silenced .38 from the creel and shot him twice, point blank. He fell over into the stern of the skiff, just as I'd intended. Neat and clean, like in the old days. I climbed down to make sure he was dead. Then I stripped off his gold ring and the Patek Philippe watch, covered him up with a tarp. Later, I'd run the body out to the middle of the lake, weight it, and drop it overboard. I'd have to take care of the Lincoln too, but in mountain country like this, it wouldn't be too much of a chore, even for an old guy like me. Back inside the cabin, I put in a long-distance call but got picked up right away. "I've changed my mind. I'll take that contract after all, but it'll cost you $75. Frank Carbone replied, "For you, I don't argue. $75 it is. But how come you changed your mind? You told me before that you were never leaving that retirement place of yours." "I wouldn't have to now. I'd soon have enough money to last me the rest of my life. But all I said was, send somebody up with the cash in a couple of days. I'll have proof the job's done." Frank Carbone replied, "Couple of days? How are you going to do it that quick?" "That's my business." Sure. Same old Frank. Trade secret, right?" "That's right," I said. "Trade secret." Thank you very much for coming out. I appreciate it very much. And I hope you all have a good evening.
Great story.